Hi, I'm Dana Perry, and today I'm going to show you the proper procedures for cleaning a restroom. The first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we have our restroom cart completely stocked. This will allow us to work more efficiently so that we don't have to make several trips to the janitor's closet while cleaning. On our cart, we have our Virex, which is our disinfectant. We have our Crew, which is our acid bowl, our non-acid bowl and bathroom disinfectant cleaner. We have our Glance, which is our glass cleaner. We have our cream cleanser. This is going to be for any hard to get areas either in the sinks or in the commodes. We have our stainless steel cleaner. We have our box of gloves. We'll want to make sure that we change gloves frequently while cleaning restrooms. We have our trash bags. We have our extended duster for getting the tops of the partitions as well as any vents. We have our supplies down below, which are our toilet paper products. We have our hand soap, and we also have our microfiber rags. Red rags are used in the restrooms. We have our yellow rags, which are used for your mirrors. We have our blue, which is for general purpose cleaning. We also have white balls, which we're going to use in our commodes. These are disposable. In addition, we have our broom. Obviously, this is to sweep out any debris. We have our mop water, which is already made up. This has our water and our floor cleaner in it. And most importantly, we have our wet floor sign, and this is what we're going to use at the very end of our cleaning. When cleaning the bathroom, the first thing you want to do is announce service. Housekeeping, and this is to ensure that we're not going to walk in on anyone while they're using the restroom. We're going to bring our entire cart into the restroom. The first thing that we're going to do in the restroom is we're going to do our high dusting. This includes any vents, any light fixtures, and any tops of our partitions. So we're going to start at the corner. We're going to make sure that we get our vents. And vents come in all different varieties, but again, it's very important to make sure that our vents are kept clean. We're going to want to make sure we get the tops of our rails. We're going to want to make sure that we get the tops of the partitions. And we're also going to take a look to see if there's any cobwebs throughout this restroom, and we're going to hit those with our high duster. The second step is we're going to sweep the floor. It's a lot easier to sweep the floor before spraying any product. It's easier to sweep a dry floor than it is a wet floor. So we're going to start in the furthest corner of the restroom, and we're going to make sure that we do a thorough sweep, picking up any hair, toilet paper, paper towel, anything that may have fallen through the course of the day. Any dust which may have come from our vents when we did our high dusting. You want to make sure that you get in the corners really well. That's why we have an angle broom. So you want to get your corners really well. And again, sweep all of the debris right out of the restroom. And then it will be much easier to mop this floor when it is debris free. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to spray down all of our fixtures. This includes our sinks as well as our commodes and urinals. The reason we're going to spray this so early is because we're going to allow for proper dwell time. So you're going to spray the top of your toilet seat, the entire ring of the toilet seat. You're going to spray your bases, and we're going to let that dwell for approximately 10 minutes. We're going to do the same thing with our urinals. inside and out. Handles, those are high touch points. And again, we're going to let that dwell. Some folks also in the bathrooms, if you don't have the pads on the bottom of the floor, a lot of people will spray additional chemical just to help with any uric acid that may get on the floor. We're then going to come over, we're going to spray our sinks, and again, we're going to give that a proper dwell time of 10 minutes. While our chemical is doing the proper dwell time, we are going to take out the trash and we are going to change out all of our supplies. So one of the things in restrooms, you want to make sure that you change your bag. You're mostly going to have paper products in there, hand towels and things of that nature, but it's always a good idea because you may have the additional coffee cup that gets thrown in there, so it's best to just throw the entire bag away. In some cases, folks will leave an additional bag at the bottom, but we'll go ahead and we'll put in a new bag. We're going to make sure that it sits nice and snug in there. Want to make sure that there's enough room. And some people like to put a small tie just to make sure that the can doesn't fall inside, and then everyone will keep throwing paper towel and garbage on top of the bag. So it's really good to make sure that it fits nice and secure. You want to make sure that the bag also looks neat and presentable to anyone that may be coming in the restroom. You don't want to leave them all sloppy looking. And then you're going to want to put it right back in its spot. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill up our toilet paper. As you can see, this is a double roll dispenser, so you can put 2 rolls on there. We have one full one, and then this is completely empty. It's always important to make sure that there's plenty of supplies. A lot of your complaints will come from not having enough supplies in the restroom or them not being filled all the way. So with this particular unit, you're just going to take your toilet paper, you're going to put it on the spindle, and again, there's lots of different types of units out there. All of our buildings are a little bit different, but it's all of the same process, is making sure that we have enough toilet paper to get our customer throughout the course of the day. And you always want to take it and tear it away, because a lot of times you'll get little pieces of toilet paper along the floor. So just go ahead and tear this piece apart so that they can start fresh with their roll of toilet paper. And here you'll see we have 2 complete rolls of toilet paper that will last them throughout the day. We're going to change our hand towels. These come in a lot of different varieties. Sometimes you'll see the roll hand towels. Sometimes they'll be the C-fold hand towels. The most important thing is to make sure that we have plenty of them in the bathrooms. Again, this is to try to eliminate any complaints of not having supplies. Nothing worse than washing your hands and having nothing to dry them with. So again, we're just going to open up our dispensers. There's a lot of different types of dispensers out there. It just depends on the particular building that you're working in. But I'm going to go ahead and attach my paper towel. I'm going to let it spool through. This one you just have to push a button. And now we have a complete full dispenser for paper towel. All right, well, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change out our hand soap. This is an automatic hand soap dispenser. This dispenser is actually empty. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this one. And again, each hand dispenser is just a little bit different. Your manager will train you on the dispenser that you have at your building. The next thing that we're going to focus on is cleaning our partitions and the common touch point areas. So these are going to be your handles, your locks. We're going to make sure that those are cleaned. So we're going to use our Virex. We're going to make sure that our rag is nice and saturated. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get the handle. We're going to make sure that the lock is clean. We're also at this point going to clean up any fingerprints that we might see on the partition. We're going to get the lock. And also in the restroom you have the handicap bars, so you're going to want to make sure that those are cleaned as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my rag around. I'm going to spray my rag, and another touch point again is the handicap rails. So I'm going to make sure that I wipe the rails down. And the last touch point that we're going to make sure that we get is the door handle, the doorknob, and again we're going to make sure we get both sides of the handle. Again, each door is a little bit different. Sometimes you'll have a plate on there that you just push on it, and you might have some kick plates as well on the door, and you'll want to make sure you get those as well. The next thing that we're going to do we're going to clean our mirrors. You're going to want to use your Glance HC. You're just going to spray your mirrors, and then you're going to take your yellow microfiber cloth and just go ahead and clean your mirrors. The mirrors will especially get bad right down at the bottom because that's where people will splash their hands. So you want to make sure that you have a nice clean mirror. The reason I'm doing the mirrors before I clean my sink is so that there's no backsplash from anything. So now I have 2 clean mirrors. Alright, so 10 minutes has passed. Now we're going to wash down our sinks and our commodes. We're going to make sure that we wipe everything down thoroughly. We're going to make sure we get behind the faucet. And we're going to want to make sure that there's no debris that builds up around your faucet area. You're going to want to wipe the inside of your sink very well. The sides. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to shine up my stainless steel, my chrome. So it's streak free. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to clean our commodes. I did change my gloves because it is very important that you change your gloves frequently to help eliminate any type of cross-contamination. So the 10 minutes has passed. We've sprayed down our urinal. We're going to go ahead and take our Johnny mop, and we're just going to clean the inside of it for any hard debris that may be in there. Then what I'm going to use is one of my wipe balls. These are disposable, so when you are done using this, it would go in the trash. You would not use this multiple times. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just wipe down the entire base of the unit. It's very, very important to make sure that you get underneath the urinal as well, because you will have some buildup and drips down there. Then we're going to make sure we flush it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Virex, I'm going to put some on a rag, and I'm going to get that next touch point, which is going to be my flush. Handle. So I'm going to just shine up all of this chrome. Another thing that you're going to want to make sure that you do a good job is cleaning the dividers of your partition. That way, and as you'll see, I put the Virex directly on it to give it enough time to dwell for any backsplash that may occur. All right, the 10 minutes has passed, so we're going to go ahead and we are going to wipe down our divider for any urine or backsplash that may have come from the urinal. All right, well, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to clean the toilet. The first thing that I'm going to do is wipe down my toilet seat. And again, this will be the first thing so that there's no cross-contamination. I'm going to lift the seat. Notice I turn my cloth around, and I'm going to wipe down the other side of the sink. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my toilet brush to get the insides of the toilet. Okay. I'm going to turn my cloth around yet again, and I'm going to wipe this part of the toilet. I'm going to make sure I get behind the seat, as you will get some buildup behind there. Going to use my rag again. These rags have 8 different sides, so you actually do get a lot of use out of these rags. I'm going to make sure I get the bowl itself. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I get my base. This part is extremely important. You want to make sure that it's free of any buildup. This is where we tend to get a lot of complaints, so please make sure that you're getting that part of the toilet as well. And lastly, what we're going to do is we're going to want to make sure that we clean the toilet handle so that it's a clean touch point. And I'm also going to get the top of the tank so that there's no dust on it. And there you have a nice clean toilet. All right, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to mop our floor. We have our clean solution. We're going to make sure that we wring the mop out very well because we don't want our floor to be completely saturated. So I have my wet mop. I'm always going to start in the furthest corner and I'm going to mop my way out. So in this case, it would be back here. Notice I'm mopping as close to the wall as I can get, as close to the base of the toilet. Put the plunger back right where I got it. And then what I'll be doing is I will be doing a figure 8. So again, when you mop, just want to do a nice figure 8 to make sure you've gotten all of your areas. Getting around the bases, in the corners. Behind my trash can and under my sinks. Going to make sure I put the trash can back right where it was. And you'll notice I have now mopped myself out of the wet bathroom. The last step is to make sure I put up my wet floor sign so that any visitors know this is a wet floor and to proceed with caution. All right, just a quick recap of all of the steps for cleaning the bathroom. The first thing that we did was we did all of our high dusting with our extended duster. We did the tops of the partitions and the vents. The next thing we did was we used our broom to sweep the floor of any debris. We then used our disinfectant to spray all of the toilets, sinks, and urinals so that we can give it the proper dwell time. Then what we did was we took out our trash, we changed our supplies, we made sure that we changed the toilet paper, the hand towels, and the soap to ensure that there were enough supplies to get us through to the next day. We then cleaned our touch points, that was the handles on the doors and the locks and any smudges or marks that may have been on the partitions or the handles. The next step was cleaning our mirrors using our Glance HC. We then cleaned our sinks, moved our way to the urinal, and lastly to the toilet. And our final step was mopping the floor, mopping out of the bathroom in figure 8 motions, and putting out our wet floor sign so that no visitor will slip and fall. Thanks for watching.